Welcome to Jerseys and Heels,
Bringing women into the game.
one of the best sports podcasts in the world. Incredible news, Sports 101, and we are bringing you behind the scenes at real life beyond the jersey. Are you ready, Sam?
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, we're here. What's up?
This is how we're starting
Yeah.
your podcast. Y'all podcast. Is it y'all, you all?
Y'all.
Y'all.
we
She
like
says
y'all.
y'all. I don't say.
I'm country. I say y'all too.
I'm from Philly.
I'm from Pittsburgh. We say
Oh.
y'all. Yins.
Yins.
Hey, haha, Clint
Water?
Dix taught me yin.
Yin.
You ain't even know. You
Yin
know about
even
it. He texted me one day. I was like, what is yin? Holly's like, let me read it. You ain't know. You ain't know about that? I was like, oh my God. Guys, welcome to Jerseys and Heels. If you're listening to this, we are sweating really bad. It's 84 degrees in, where are we again?
Sunny South Florida.
With the bomb friend and
One
guy.
and only.
Who do we have, Sam?
Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. The OG Brandon, because there's
Yeah,
another
there's
Brandon.
two.
There's
The
two.
original
Yeah, there's
one.
two.
Hey, Sam told me on the way down here, Brandon Marshall's going to the Raiders. I was like, what? Hold on, wait. Yeah, y'all.
I had really close friends and family members actually text me congratulations and still
Oh
messed that up.
no.
Yeah, that's pretty. Like, how do you mess that up? Joey Forjanic is one. Joey Forjanic texts me
Joey.
congrats. Right? I had a cousin text me congrats.
Were you like, what are you congratulating
Yeah,
me
I'm
for?
like, what? Yeah.
Is
like, what
Mishi
you
in
talking
labor?
about?
Is
No,
he?
no.
I'm saying, you were probably like, what?
Oh, yeah,
Congrats,
yeah.
Mishi. Guys, we are excited to be here and to be with Brandon. And, yeah, so I've known
I'm
him for a really long
excited.
time.
I am just meeting you, and I'm a little starstruck. I'll admit it.
Yeah, right.
No, I am, because I'm a
I'm not.
sports geek.
Oh, she is like a sport. She's the Stephen A.
Yeah, but I
of-
don't yell.
Yeah.
I don't get angry like him.
You don't?
No.
So
Okay.
I want to ask you a little tiny question because it's a fun story. But how did we meet? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna make sure he gets this right. Go.
Okay, it's almost, yeah. Like, there's my side, then there's her side. My side is, and it's probably, we may be close.
Okay.
I'll let you know because I heard her.
Yeah,
side.
there was a tournament, basketball tournament, almost like the Winter Classic, right?
It's
So all
called the Rotary Tournament.
The Rotary Tournament. So all of the teams in Orlando, basketball, right? So I played basketball in high school. So around December, the teams get together. Teams go to Winter Park High School, where Haley Hunt at the time. Well, she got, what's her name?
Haley Hunt.
Is it Haley Hunt?
It's all.
What's her stage name? Because she's also a singer. She does podcasts. She
I
got
did Haley
She
Hunt.
have a show coming out. I don't know what to call her. What's your alias?
Haley Hunt.
Okay, so Haley at the time was at Winter Park High School, and she sung the national anthem,
Yeah.
right? So I remember seeing this girl come out. I'm like, okay, all right, this girl she can't blow. Who is this person? And then she just like blew everyone away.
Wow. Thanks.
And that's pretty much all I remember. I think we may have spoken after the game, or you may have said hi. And
But
then
wait, the slam
Yeah, I
dunk
feel like
contest.
you're missing the
so let's
whole-
I
talk
don't
about.
even remember that part.
Okay, so I'll come in. So
No,
there
let me
was
finish my
Go,
story.
sorry.
And we'll hear yours.
I'm sorry.
So the cool part for me, or the interesting part, and maybe a little weird part, is Haley's a believer as well. So fast forward a week later.
Believer in what though? For all the.
That's right. So Haley's a believer in Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yes.
Amen.
So, oh man. So, anyways, I don't know what happened. Maybe the Holy Spirit slapped her in her face, said, "Reach out to that guy." And a week later, she comes to Lake Howell High School. This is not your high school, not her school. All right, it's probably 10 miles away from each other. And I'm walking out after our sixth period, and I see this girl in the hall, and she's like, Brandon.
Oh
I'm
my
like, what?
God, how
Who are
embarrassing.
you? And she pretty much hands me almost like a Bible with all these note cards with scriptures,
Oh
right?
my God.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But what's interesting is, and that's where our relationship began. But what's interesting, I have a bunch of those note cards still laying around my house and in different places.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
it really got me through college, because that was my senior year. And in college, I had all these note cards. And when I got to school, I started dabbling with FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And
I had Sean come and speak to y'all. Remember that?
yep, I remember, man. So she really planted seeds in me when I was in high school. It's one of the reasons why I am where I'm at today in my faith and in my journey.
Brandon, wow.
So that's my story.
Okay.
You got something about a dunk contest or
I
what?
slayed the national anthem. Okay. No, just kidding.
You did good.
Thank you. And then
Let's hit a note real quick.
Ooh, yeah. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Hey, for y'all that don't know if I can sing or not, just Google me. That was a pretend. That was a pretend note. Okay, so the slam dunk contest was awesome, but there's this kid. He was ginormous, like 6'5" in high school, and he put a blue Powerade bottle on the back of the rim, like right on that flat part. He ran up, did a 360 slam dunk. The one hand that he slam dunked with was hanging into the hoop, and with the other hand, the Powerade bottle flipped through the hoop. You caught it, unscrewed it, and drank the Powerade, blue Powerade. It was spilling everywhere while you were hanging on the hoop. It was so ridiculous, and I'm like, oh my God, everyone, you won. And I asked Stephen Moffitt at the time, I was like, who is that? And he's like, yeah, that's Brandon Marshall, blah, blah, blah. And I could not stop thinking about you. I don't know why, but I thought I wrote you a letter. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's going to be – and I was in my white Mustang. And I thought, I'm just going to go to Lake Howell High School, whatever. And I show up, and it was still school was going in session. And all I was going to do was say, I don't even know his last name.
Arrested for
trespassing.
I know. Y'all didn't have, like, a gate card or anything. So I was going to leave the letter for Brandon on the basketball team because I didn't know your last name. And I see this black kid – tall again, walking across the parking lot. This is my story. I remember. And I'm like, oh my God, would that be insane if that was him? And I just was like, I'm so embarrassed, but he's going to think I'm such a weirdo. And so I pull up to him and I'm like, hey, is your name Brandon? He said, yeah. Anyway, you were walking home because you lived across the street.
Yep.
So I handed him the letter, and that's where it started.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the note cards came in college. That's what she did. She took my Bible when I got to college and highlighted like the
important parts.
The entire Bible, and was like, read this, and I had note cards to go along with it. So that's where the Bible came in.
God.
And her story is pretty much the right one.
Right.
Except,
Yeah.
I didn't do a 360 dunk.
You didn't? You
No.
just did the same. But still.
But you missed the part. You know who put the Gatorade bottle on the backboard?
No.
Amari Stoudemire.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot he was there.
I just want to know how you knew that you could do that. Did you practice it before? That's what caught me.
No, never practiced it before.
So
but
you're just
I had
like, okay,
the
I'll
vision,
try
the
it.
idea. I was like, hey, if it fails, it fails. But I'm a football player. Who cares?
I can figure it out.
But isn't that what you're doing in life right now? Like, I am visioning it. I've never done it before, but I'm just going to figure it out.
Well, yeah, that's the story of my entire life. I mean, I really use failure and whatever I jump into as my classroom. You know, and part of the reason why is because as athletes growing up, we feel like that's what defines us. That's who we are, right? So I spent my entire life chasing this dream to make it to the NFL, and halfway through my career, I realized that I was bigger than the sport. It didn't define me. It wasn't my purpose. So now it's like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be in business. So I open up shop, and I failed for a year or two, but then I figure it out, right? Same thing when it comes to being a father, a husband, those things. You know, a lot of us we don't get those lessons. We don't see that picture, you know, so you got to figure it out. So, absolutely.
Awesome.
That's a good question.
What?
What's it? Jerseys and Heels?
Yeah, let's talk about jerseys and
Man,
heels.
this is a dope podcast.
Thanks, Brandon.
Y'all bring this fire all the time?
I try.
Yeah, so we want to know, and this is just for the fans out there, but out of all the teams that you ever played for, who were the best fans? That's what I want to know.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
you put
really
me on
want
the
to know
spot.
that, being a Philly fan.
Okay, let's
Wow.
not say that. Who would
Well,
you cheer
I will
for?
say this. The craziest experience I've had,
No?
Well, Philly, yeah, you guys are like cuckoo. No, I'm just playing. No stigma there. But the New Orleans Saints, I was there I had a cup of tea with the Saints this past year. And when I say the atmosphere was jumping, and I've never experienced anything like that. I played in every single city in the National Football League, right? I played in every single arena, and that was the only one I never, played at.
Mm-hmm.
So my first week there on the job, we played against Philly, and we whooped y'all 49-7.
No!
So that was like my welcome to New Orleans game in that moment. And when I say
Nice welcome.
they drank the whole game,
Hey,
And
bunch
they
of Catholics
partied the
though. You
whole
know the
game.
Saints.
It was insane. I've never experienced anything like that. But as far as like the rest of the teams, the Jets had phenomenal fans. I love Fireman Ed. He got the crowd crazy. So that was a good experience seeing that. Chicago was dope. Overall, Chicago was dope.
They
I just put like when
loved
you look
you.
at when you put the full picture,
They're one of the oldest
everything
teams.
together. You know, they weren't as rowdy as some of the other places, but when you put the team, the history, you know, and then the city together, it's like, man, it's a pretty good
That is a
experience.
good
Soldier
one.
Field is off the chain.
It's cool.
I sang the national anthem
Oh,
there
you did?
last this.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the craziest experience. I mean, just the atmosphere on Soldier Field was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And they actually made me change my shoes. That's a little secret story. Right before, like, literally 40 minutes before the game,
Do you have
they were
heels
like,
on?
"You cannot wear those shoes." And I was
Oh,
like,
'cause
"Why?"
of the field?
Stilettos. And I'm like, the guys have like
Cleats?
cleats on, and they were like, "No, that the stilettos aren't going to work." And I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" They were like, "Either get new shoes or go barefoot." And I'm like, "Oh heck no! This is the biggest game I've ever sang at."
What'd you
and
do?
oh, so
So what happened? What happened? Tell us.
And I was stressed out because usually you get a green room by yourself. Well, Chicago had brand new locker rooms, so they put me in the old locker room with 100 Pee Wee football players. And so I walk in and they're like, "Oh, you a cheerleader?" I'm like, "No, I'm singing the national anthem." "Oh, you sing? Can you sing for us?" I'm like, "Can you be quiet? I'm stressed out right now." Then they tell me I cannot wear the stilettos. Literally looked at my manager, Mike, and I was like, "You have 40 minutes in game day traffic to go back to the Westin,
Wow.
go up to my room, get those wedge things that I have, or I'm going to be screwed." Anyway, he made it 5 minutes before I walked out on the field.
Wow.
I put them on. I was so stressed out, but let me just tell you something. Stress, oh, I killed it.
You killed
Y'all,
it?
it's on YouTube. You can go see. It's
Really?
named Amazing National Anthem. It's the best national anthem I've ever done in my life. Ever.
Wow.
I sent it to you.
You
You've
did?
seen it.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I just know that your music is awesome.
Thank you.
I remember in high school being in the studio with
Fred's here.
Correct. Yeah.
Made beats.
So I mean, I've been hearing her voice forever, and it's definitely a blessing to hear it. So yeah,
Guys,
absolutely.
Brandon is, I'm going to make it up to you for, he has actually helped me with my music career. And so if this TV show takes off, then we're going to, then I can just put out the singles just one
Really?
after another, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
I mean, if we
nice.
have a platform, you could put out a song.
If or when?
When. Amen.
Did she
There's
say
no
if?
ifs.
Amen.
No ifs in
Eh.
this.
Did you just say if?
We used to talk about having parties together. It was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna play in the NFL, and I'm gonna be a famous singer, and then we're gonna like throw these huge parties together." And then I'm like, "Oh, how's the parties?"
Yeah, we've been friends since 2002.
No, it was 2001. I feel like it was 2000. It was like
No,
junior
yeah,
year.
2001.
But maybe
No, that was our senior year. It was
senior
yeah,
year.
it was our senior year. 2001, 2002. I ended up going to UCF.
Yeah.
So that was.
So let's talk
fall,
about
yeah.
that, because you know I'm an Alabama fan, and
Yeah.
we've had enough national championships.
We're the national champs.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all
were.
actually, you actually had a helicopter, a plane flying over the University of Alabama's game in September saying national championships. Can you please give me the genuine answer from a UCF fan? Do you really believe that?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, it's facts, right? I mean, it's sad that we had to go about it this way.
Guys, look at the face.
Serious. This is, I'm a part-time broadcaster face, right? But absolutely, I mean, for us to have to fight like this, says a lot about the system, okay? The system
Oh.
is broken,
My God.
all right? So for a mid-major school that's about to be a major university in a couple of years like UCF, to do what we have done in the past couple of years, we definitely deserve the spot in the
Oh,
title
my God.
game. We didn't get it. So how we blew everyone out definitely deserves we're definitely deserving of that trophy sitting in the Wayne Dench Center right
Jeez.
now.
If
And
y'all
the
actually
rings
have a
that
trophy?
we got, yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
100%. We're deserving of that.
Okay. Hey, you
What
heard
do
it
you
right
think?
here.
I think you are, because I'm not a Roll Tide fan.
Oh, so that's just
So,
pure
Who are
bandwagon
you a fan
stuff.
of?
Well,
What's your school?
I'm not really into the college scene. I'm more of the NFL girl.
And your team
It's
is
all about the
failing, huh?
birds. I bleed green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you guys boo your
Boo?
team when they're not doing good?
Well,
or is that?
If
like,
I
tell me
wanna-
about that as
you
a
want
fan.
me to tell you something? I used to boo because Donovan McNabb, sorry, bro, but you'd mess up and then you'd go to the sideline and you'd be smiling and laughing after you just threw an interception. So that was kind of like,
Yeah, but Donovan
started
McNabb,
it.
how many championships did he bring you guys? How many times did you guys win the division?
I don't know. Not enough.
Not enough.
But we did beat the Pats.
Yeah, we did.
And that's all that matters to me because I don't go with the Pats or anything Boston.
Anything Boston?
No.
You look
There
like
was.
you're from Boston.
I do?
Yeah.
No. No Deflategate here.
Yeah, that's good.
No.
I like that.
Not me.
So
Do
go.
So earlier Brandon was eating just a little something. But I wanted to ask if you could explain what it is that you're doing since you're calling plant-based.
Yeah, I mean, I hate putting.
And if you feel better, that's the
yeah,
question.
I mean, when you put labels on things, sometimes it forces you into discussions that you may not be ready for, or you get a lot of weird people, trying to talk to you about things that they have no clue. They have no clue at what they're talking about, and for me, I just don't have the time and the energy to deal with someone that want to challenge me. With the way my lifestyle, for 30, 45 minutes, right? So I just stay away from that. For me, it's about just being healthy. Mm-hmm. I look at, I'm not an ethical eater, right? I love animals. I have a soft spot in my heart. Like I went to the zoo in the Bronx Zoo last year with the kids, and I learned a lot about, how we treat our lions and our tigers, our elephants and our rhinos. And it's
sad.
Like at the age of 34, it's like, oh my gosh, I love animals, right? I've always been a dog fan, but like every animal in the world. So, but I'm not an ethical eater, but what I do know is that the information that we have is not great, right? We don't know a lot about the food industry.
That we eat.
Correct. So as of right now, my diet is majority plant-based. Mm-hmm. I also, do blood testing where I can learn and understand my body, what my body's allergic to. Mm-hmm. So I put the right things in my body. Everything that we put in our body, whether it's liquids or foods, whatever,
right.
We have a chemical reaction to, good or bad. And a ton of things. We all are. That's what we got.
So what did you, doing the testing, what did you find out? Because I figured out just by myself without the testing, I'm probably allergic to way more than I think I am.
Well, I'll give you this story because it's a list of things, right? There's some things that we're extremely reactive to, some things are moderately reactive to. But like a couple years ago when I first started doing this and I was still eating meat, I had bison and beef, worked well for my system. So I would eat that one day in Boston. Actually, I went to a restaurant, steakhouse, famous steakhouse, and I ordered a 12-ounce steak and I ordered a baked potato. Those things worked well for me. I ate that and I was still hungry. I ordered another one. So I literally had 2
24
baked
ounces.
Potatoes, 24 ounces of meat, and the next day I woke up and I stayed the same on the scale. I woke up at 226 and I went to sleep at 226, woke up the next day at 226, right? All right. The very next day, I was like, you know what, man, I'm really craving some chicken. I ate probably like 6 ounces of chicken, and I gained 1.5 pounds.
No way.
And all it was inflammation. That's all it is, right?
That's
And
crazy.
in inflammation, that's where sickness and disease lie, right?
Especially for an athlete.
We wonder why, we're so unhealthy, and obesity is
a big problem.
Crazy in the United States, right? Because we consume so much, we have so much access. So we need to get the right information and learn our bodies and do the right things.
So for a listener that doesn't have a lot of money or doesn't, money is always an issue or an excuse a lot that people, oh, it's so
100%.
expensive. I don't want to, go to Whole Foods or whatever.
It's actually cheaper.
It is
if you go-
cheaper.
like if you're saying plant-based, right, there's different approaches. People do different things, but if you say I'm plant-based, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah, meat is expensive.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper to go plant-based.
Yeah.
The
100%.
biggest challenge really is how do you go from eating fried foods or eating chicken the way you want to eat chicken to taking plants
and making
it
taste like chicken.
Yeah.
No, forget that. Well, you got just go to Beyond Meat. There's a lot of companies out there that do a great job of doing it for you. Like Beyond Meat is a company that I use. Like they have these Italian sausages that are phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to try that.
It's like, wow, they're amazing. There's like Morningstar that they have a few burgers out there, Chipotle burgers, Garden burgers, black bean burgers.
Right.
So you have access to stuff like that. But that's the challenge, right? Like, how do I take plants and add flavor? That's the biggest challenge,
Right.
and it just takes time.
And people worry about how much protein they're getting. They don't realize that they can get enough.
So let me
from
ask
the
you this
plants.
question.
Yes.
The biggest, strongest animals on the planet, they eat what?
Each other.
No, they eat plants.
Plants.
Elephants, plants, right?
Plants.
Like,
Yeah. Elephants.
Hey, just think
Yeah.
about the biggest ones, right? So where
They're
do
all
they get their?
herbivores.
And the animals that we eat, what do they eat? What does a
Ugh.
cow eat?
We don't
Grass.
really know.
Where is he getting his protein from? Or
I mean, hey, I posted something on Instagram and said, "Be patient. The grass always becomes milk." And people were like, "What does that mean?" They
Yeah.
could not understand.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"The grass, it's a process in
Correct.
life." It was a great quote,
Correct.
but yeah,
I like
you're
that.
right.
yeah.
They eat grass. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you've obviously seen then Forks Over Knives or like What the Health. Do you
Seen
is it,
some of them? Yeah.
is there one that you would recommend if someone's like, "Hey, I want to try this"?
Well, there's a lot of information out there, and what I will say is just watch that stuff with an open heart. But also, you got to know there's two ends of the spectrum, right? There's people
Absolutely.
that's on one side is like, meat is great, dairy's great, and
Right.
you got people on the other side like, oh, it's terrible to eat that stuff. So just go, learn, take what you need, and form your own opinion. But you just need to be informed. You need to know
Right.
what's going on in the food industry. You need to know these things. You need to know who's writing the papers on the benefits of dairy or chicken or plants, right? Some of the people who are writing these things, they
They're
pay
getting
to
paid.
get that, right?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
they're actually in the industry that they're writing about, right? So it benefits them. So
That's what a lot of people
What I
say.
would say, there's a lot of information out there now, but both are kind of extreme, right? So you just got to be able to go in and take what you need, form your own opinion off of good information.
So we have just a few more questions. We're almost finished. But before that, because I'm extremely ADD, and just for you to be thinking about, our little starfish here, this is our sidekick. It's a girl. Isn't she beautiful?
She's
So
beautiful.
cute.
So beautiful.
And unfortunately, we've
What's
had...
her name?
Well, unfortunately, we've had two guests, and they've both named her. And today she was like, "Guys, I don't like the names that have been chosen, so just based on our conversation, life, whatever you feel, we're going to let you actually name her today."
Oh,
so at
really?
the end, you're just going to give us a little name, whatever you think. I mean, it could be like,
I feel like it's
Keisha,
gonna have something to
it
do
could
with
be like
food.
Mimi, it could
I'm
be
going to go
like...
with a Z name. Do I have to do that now?
No,
No,
at
you
the
can
end.
think about it.
I'll probably go with a Z name.
And why is that?
Z, man. Hey, the first become last, the last become first.
And his
You know what I mean?
babies.
No, I'm just playing. I
And-
just tried to make something up real quick. And it just didn't go.
That was good.
It didn't make any sense. No,
Hey,
it didn't
girl,
make
you
any
Kind of
sense.
did.
No, not really.
You're twins.
Yeah. Oh,
Their
yeah.
name-
So
they-
my twins, Z and Ziggy, got another baby on the way, baby Zoe. Yeah, there's power in with that letter Z, There's
Wow.
power there.
That's-
Our kids definitely have meaning, right? Like, I'm just that type of guy where, our names mean something. Like Brandon means little raven. I didn't give that name to
Go Ravens.
myself or
Right.
that meaning. My parents didn't. So what my wife and I did is we actually named our kids. We watched them develop. We thought, we were speaking things over their life, but the things that we actually see and understand, when we start understanding who they are, we develop their meaning, right?
Wow.
So we're creating what we
That's cool.
know to be true in their lives.
Do you know what your name means?
Well, I know what my last name means.
Okay.
Red Mountain.
Red Mountain.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Rothenberger.
You know what your name is?
German.
Yeah, Haley means heroine or hero. Like a girl.
Dang.
Not heroine.
I
Heroine.
thought
Like-
saying.
Like heroine in Greek is like the
okay.
girl superhero, like
Oh, yeah,
Wonder
yeah, yeah.
Woman
Oh, that's
or
pretty
A
cool.
heroine.
a heroine, yeah,
Heroine or what?
or hero.
Oh, that's
And
pretty
then
dope.
Morgan means Queen of the Sea. Who knew?
Mm.
Mermaid. All right, so I want to know if I put you in Soldier Field or Miami, the Hard Rock Stadium or anything, and filled it up with people, kids from 20 to 40 and our age, and gave you the microphone and was like, bro, you have 20 minutes or 5 to tell them anything you want to tell them that could impact or change your life. What is a message that our generation needs to hear right now? The most
Yeah.
crucial, and you can, whatever you want to.
Oh, there's a lot right now, right? We're in
Yeah.
the social media era where we want instant gratification, so I'll probably touch on that. You know what I mean? Really, we're in a time now where we have to understand who we are, what we are, and our purpose. Like I'm always talking about purpose. That's the main thing. We go our entire life not understanding who we are and not really walking in our purpose, right? When you walk in your purpose, you feel fulfilled. You know, it's not about the money. It's not about the accolades. It's not about the gratification that we get off of social media. So I definitely talk about purpose. Like, you need to know your purpose. You need to know your purpose. And the second thing I'll talk about is their health. Mental health is critical. We have a nonprofit, Project 375, where we travel around the country and soon the world, where we implement programs like mental health first aid, right, for youth and adults. We go into hospitals. We go into school districts, police departments. How do we be first responders? If you find, if your kid is struggling, can you tell the difference between anxiety, an anxiety attack, or a heart attack? And if you can, what do you do? So those are some of the things that we teach. If you're a parent, you're a teacher, and you see it, you find a letter, a suicide letter, what do you do?
Wow.
What are we supposed to do? What's that? How does that conversation
Just
look?
gave me the chills.
So we spend about 8 hours implementing a program where we can pretty much be first responders. Think about like CPR. So that's what we teach for mental health. So I would talk about mental health and how it's important, how it affects all of us, and
the people around you too.
Yeah. So I guess those two things.
Yeah, I love that. I actually was talking to Mishi about hosting some of those because I know for me, you know, I've been around and have people in my own family that struggle with mental illness, but I think it's amazing and makes you a better person to be able, and selfless, to be able to learn how to be a first responder. Even if you don't ever know anyone that has mental illness, you're going to meet someone.
Yeah.
You probably do, and you just don't know that they
100%.
struggle with that. So yeah, if you guys want to look up Project 375, you can actually go and take one of their classes or actually host one, right?
Yep.
You guys come to the city.
Correct.
So awesome. Well, do you have
That's
anything
cool.
else to ask or say?
I could ask you a million questions, but
Kyle
I won't.
Israel wrote on my Instagram, how was it having him in the locker room for 2 years?
Kyle
Kyle!
had an arm, man. Kyle was cool.
Do you know what he's doing now? The Orlando Predators are coming back, and he's the quarterback.
No, he's not really.
Yes, he is.
He's still slinging it.
He's in
Slinging
good
it.
shape. I've been seeing him on Instagram, and he is ridiculous.
All right, I need to show me his Instagram page. I want to see this guy. 'Cause
Actually, I
when
know.
Kyle came out of school, he had a little tummy. So we'll
No,
see.
I don't think so anymore. I mean,
Really?
I've never seen him with his shirt off. This is so inappropriate.
little
He has a
tummy.
girl. I'm sorry. I just am telling you, I've seen him in the gym. He's looking
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
I think
good
the
for you,
Preds are
Kyle.
in
Good for
good
you.
shape.
I know what I've always actually wanted to ask a football player. When the Super Bowl is on and you're not in it, do you guys actually watch it? Or are
Yeah.
you like, no, I don't want to
I
watch
think
it?
every guy is different. For me, I'm actually a huge fan of the sport.
So you watch
I
other
love
games.
it. So yeah, like, well, not every game, but for the most part, like I may catch a Sunday night football game, Monday night football game
Right.
when I can. But definitely the Super Bowl, it's a party for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I hate is going to the event. Like I'll go work up until the game and go home.
Right.
Like that's when you feel like, oh man, I don't want to be here. But watching it, I always watch it every single year. I mean, that's where my love came in at. Every my father used to go to the Super Bowls when we were in elementary. He took us to one, but every Super Bowl Sunday, my mom will cook us a steak, potatoes, and maybe
Your
some mac and
potatoes again.
cheese. Yeah, maybe some mac and cheese, and that was our tradition.
Yeah.
So that's where I fell in love with the game.
Cool.
It's a good family time. It can become
100%.
a family time. So do you remember one last thing? When I visited y'all and you were playing for the Giants.
Y'all.
The
Go
Giants,
y'all.
and it was the
I'm gonna be
game
saying
that
y'all.
you went down, Odell went down, and Josh went down.
And Sterling Shepard. We
Sterling
had like
went
all of our
down.
receivers go down.
That's who it was.
Yep.
And
Dwayne,
yes.
our punt returner / receiver.
Oh.
So we had everybody go down.
So you and Odell were like right there, and then that was the night me and Misha came to see you. You were high on some kind of medication.
Yeah, they had me on
and,
something.
and Drake was in there. I want to know, did Drake come and say hey to you too, or no?
No, that wasn't cool. Drake.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm kind of in my feelings. You know
So
what I'm
he
saying?
didn't say hi to you?
Drake didn't come and say hi. You know that's
do you
that's
love me?
Odell's brother.
Are you
They're brothers. You know, I never met Drake, but that would have been a good opportunity for
him
Drake,
to meet you.
Champagne Poppy, to come and say, "Yo, man, well wishes. You can get, you know what I'm saying, heal fast." But he didn't do that. Come on, Champagne
Y'all are in the
Poppy.
same. Y'all are in the same city too. So if you run
Yeah.
across each other, you can just
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't even. All right,
That's
so
funny.
here's the time. Are you ready
Yeah.
for the naming of
Oh.
the starfish? So
She seems beautiful, inside and out, right? So the name needs to match. I've been paying close attention to her, right? Personality, real chill, but at the same time, she can put on jerseys and heels, right? So it got to be a name that's strong, but also, pretty
Little.
smooth and beautiful, right? So I'm gonna go with Zoe.
Zoe.
I like it.
I'm gonna go with
No
Zoe.
Y or just ZOE?
No, you know what? Forget Zoe. People say, let's say Zaya.
Zaya. Okay.
Zaya sound like a. Can I
love it.
can I curse as a Christian? I'm gonna say she sounds like a bad
Ew.
but sexy and beautiful. Zaya.
Zaya. Ooh.
I'll take it.
I love it. Zaya. Okay.
Zaya.
So, guys, this is Brandon Marshall. We had so much fun with you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We love you. And I know you are going crazy. Guys, if you live in Miami or South Florida, come to FitSpeed.
Fort Lauderdale. Come on over.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Lauderdale.
get fit for this TV show. Too bad I don't live closer.
Cool.
Thank you for your time.
Jerseys.
thank you so much.
And heels.
Yeah.
Love
It's going to be something amazing.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
All right.
Guys, again, thanks for listening to Jerseys and Heels. That will end our podcast for today, but be sure to tune in again and catch us behind the scenes.
Jerseys and Heels, bringing women into the game because they are more than jerseys and we are more than heels.
See you on the flip side. Don't forget to come meet us on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to our podcast.